Hey you all, this is DJ Mikey Dice. Today I'll be doing something different today instead of DJing today. So, what I've decided to do is do some album reviews. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So, I want to see how it goes and see if you guys like it. Leave a like if you guys like it. So, the first album I'll be talking about today is Phil Collins' Face Value. And I'll show you the front and the back. So, this is the front, this is the back of the album. So, I have to say, Phil Collins is one of probably my number one favorite artist to listen to. I've always listened to Phil Collins hits, always on repeat. So he's probably one of my favorite artists, and probably one of my drumming heroes because he's a really phenomenal drummer. So this whole album I thought was kind of like an experiment for him because it like kind of showed how the listeners would react to it and see if they would like it or not. So, you know how that turned out, because he released "In the Air Tonight," which became like one of his it's still his most popular song. It's got over 400 million streams on Spotify, which is that's still crazy for over like a 40-year-old song. That's crazy. So, what I'll talk about is let's see. So I thought this whole album was an experiment because what Phil did, it was experimental because he put instrumental music in the songs. He put horns in this album, and of course he used drum machines. Well, probably just one particular drum machine, the CR78, made by Roland, which was probably one of the genius things he's ever done. And it's weird because he's a drummer, right? You think he'd use actual drums, right? No, he used electronic drums. It's crazy to think. Oh, artists like Blondie used it for Heart of Glass, and who else used that drum machine? Daryl Hall and John Oates. One of the popular songs, "I Can't Go for That" with that drum loop. So this album was released in 1981. At the time, he was still with Genesis, and he was always trying to make a solo album. And didn't have time because he was on tour with Genesis over and over again. So it took him like a long time. So while he was touring with Genesis, unfortunately he had a divorce with his wife, but and he had a lot of pain, suffering. So he just started writing songs down, and some of them became hits. Like later on, like "Against All Odds" was originally, like, I guess you could say it was recorded during this time as a demo because it's on the deluxe edition on this. If you listen to it on Spotify, there's actually a demo of "Against All Odds," which he used later, and he used it for a movie, and that became a really big hit too. So and then also he actually put him on the Duke album. Like, one of his songs on there is "Please Don't Ask." It's a slow song. It was weird for Genesis at the time because the guys from the group were like, "Why are you putting this on the record? It's not us." But Phil wanted to do it, and they agreed on it. So, let's see. I just put some notes down to talk about some stuff. So a lot of it was produced by himself, Phil Collins. He learned how to program the drum machines, but he did a lot of drum machines in Duke too. Also, a lot of the work was done in Duke, the drum machines, and he did the keyboards on this album. The drums, especially on the drums, he recorded all the drums on here. He got a horn section for this album, which is kind of cool. And he had I think it was he got the horn section from Earth, Wind and Fire to actually do the whole songs. So that first song, "In the Air Tonight," it gave that spooky and bitter theme to the atmosphere. Just around that song was like, it gave the atmosphere like, ooh, very dark song. But that became an iconic song. It was used in the Hangover and Risky Business. Yeah. And then he had some quieter songs like "If Leaving Me Is Easy." It's a slow song, but it's a very good song. If you listen to it live, he does. So I gotta say, all these songs that he did were amazing. Like all these are live. If you listen to these live, they sound so amazing. I mean, he's multi-talented artist, very talented. Another song he did was "Behind the Lines." He made it look like a, how can you say? Can you make it like a jazzier? What's the word I'm trying to say? Yeah, popular tracks. Yeah. So he used "Behind the Lines." So originally, "Behind the Lines," it's in the back over here. So "Behind the Lines" was actually also used on the Genesis album. It's got that big drum fill in the beginning of the song. It's like a 5.5 minute song. This one's about like 3.5 minutes. So, and it's a little bit slower. The one on the Genesis album, Duke, is it's a little faster. What else can I say? And then he also he actually put some pulsing songs like "I'm Not Moving." I'm not moving. And then also, what I wanted to talk about was it was a catchy melody to that song. I had a lot of melodies in there. 2.5 minute song, not too bad. And then also he had that song "Drowned" and "Drowned." That song "Drowned," and then "Hand in Hand" goes in together, which is it's a good song too. And he uses that Sierra 78, and then "Hand in Hand" he goes with the drums. He has that big drum fill, which he also does live too, which is awesome too. I recommend watching Sirius Hits Live, because that's one of probably, it's a really good song to listen to live. And then also he does a little soft song called "This Must Be Love." It's about him getting out of a relationship and then getting into a new relationship. And it's like it's kind of like a happy song for him, but And this whole album has like all types of emotion and then like happiness, a little bit. And then I love what he also did with the end of with the songs. He did a Beatles cover, "Tomorrow Never Knows." Not many people like. I guess like a lot of people, but a lot of people don't really know that about "Tomorrow Never Knows," that it was a cover. And it wasn't too bad, his cover. It's pretty phenomenal. Another slow song was "You Know What I Mean" by Phil Collins. You know. And this whole album it's phenomenal. Like it's really one of his probably best albums. My favorite album personally is "But Seriously." That's when he was like his career like skyrocketed at that time, which is amazing. I believe "Face Value" has to be this kind of like this shaped Phil Collins. It like shaped him really good. Not for just being like the vocalist and drummer of Genesis for himself. He became like one of the drum gods, but then also one of the best singers probably of our time, the 20th century, pretty much. And he really like shaped the '80s movement with all the gated reverb, especially in the Air Tonight. So what I'll do now, I'm gonna show you a little bit like the inside of the covers. Like, so here I showed you this. I'll show you this again, front and the back. And this is original copy of "In the Air Tonight." And this is the inside. It says all the notes and stuff. A little reflection from the light, but it's alright. Then I also wanted to show is this is like how the vinyl would look if you were to buy it back in 1981. This is the vinyl itself. The back. What I love about his album, like, there's like a little song he does over the rainbow cover at the end of the song. It's like a hidden, not like a hidden message, but It's a little hidden song on the back, like a lot of barely anybody knows about. Just have to keep listening to it, and you'll find out. So I just want to say thank you all for watching. Click that subscribe button and click that like down below, and remember to hit that bell button. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.